That breaking news, an 11-year-old boy dies after being shot while playing a game of ding dong ditch with his friends.
I wish I didn't have to keep making videos like this, because at the center of the story is an 11-year-old boy who will never get to grow up, all because of what started as a childish prank. And on the other side, there's a man who may end up spending the rest of his life in prison for the decision he made in split seconds. Nobody wins here. Literally nobody.
HPD homicide detective tells me that 11-year-old boy died around 2 o'clock this afternoon after getting shot multiple times. I'm told that the shooting happened near that intersection after a game of ding dong ditch that happened at this home. And I'm also told that police are executing a search warrant right now at this home after finding multiple guns inside. Now take a look at this video from overnight. This is video from last night. You can see someone coming out of the blue home on Mimbro Street near Fidelity with their hands up. A little bit before that, police used a loudspeaker ordering them to surrender. Houston police confirm with me that that person has been detained for questioning. Investigators say that 11-year-old and other kids were ringing doorbells at several homes around 11 o'clock last night. After they rang the doorbell at the home on Mimbro, police say someone chased one of the kids at the intersection and shot him in the back. He was taken to the hospital, and as I said, he died this afternoon.
Since that first report came out, there have been more details about what happened that night. Details that make this even harder to process.
New details about a child's game of ding dong ditch ending in tragedy. Houston police say an 11-year-old boy was shot and killed Saturday night while running from a home on Mimbro Street in East Houston.
He died Sunday afternoon, and the man who fired the shots has not been arrested.
11-year-old boy shot and killed after doing a doorbell prank at this home, was visiting family for a birthday party about a block away. People are heard yelling in this surveillance footage from near Racine and Fidelity Streets in East Houston just before 11 p.m. Saturday. About 25 minutes later, video shows a Houston police car driving by. The suspect, described as a middle-aged man, allegedly came outside, chased the kids, and shot the 11-year-old boy in the back. He died in the hospital Sunday afternoon. Texas law follows the Castle Doctrine, which allows homeowners to stand their ground against threats using deadly force. But KHOU 11 legal analyst Carmen Rowe tells me, quote, "From what we know, it is difficult to imagine a homeowner reasonably believing children playing a centuries-old prank posed a legitimate threat."
Transition to charges filed, and now, after all of that, the man who pulled the trigger has officially been charged with murder.
Hours ago, we learned that murder charges have been filed now in the shooting death of that 11-year-old boy shot while reportedly playing ding dong ditch.
As you can imagine, this is a case now getting national attention.
This is now the third time in just a couple of months I've had to talk about a story involving kids playing ding dong ditch and ending up shot. And the kids seem to keep getting younger and younger. This time we're talking about an 11-year-old. Now, when I was growing up, there was one hard rule: bring your ass home before the streetlights come on, period. And if I broke that rule, the only thing I was getting hit with was my mama's belt, not a bullet. So a part of me can't help but ask, what the hell is an 11-year-old doing outside at 11 o'clock at night running around people's houses? That doesn't excuse what happened, but it is part of the picture, because here's the distinction we have to make. Childhood pranks have been around forever. People had guns decades ago too, but we weren't hearing about kids getting shot over ding dong ditch. So why now? Now, I can think of a couple of things. First, the way some of these pranks get carried out today, a lot of these kids aren't just lightly knocking and then running, or ringing your doorbell and running. No, they're drop kicking doors, making it sound like a break-in. If you're a homeowner and it's 11 at night, your adrenaline already is spiking before you even get to the door. And then there's the other aspect, perception. Kids these days don't always look like kids. I don't know what they're putting in the food these days, but we've got 11-year-olds who are 6'3" with broad shoulders and from behind look like a grown man. Add in the reality that some kids are out here carrying guns themselves, and you start to see how things get misread or possibly misread, even if that doesn't make it justified. And here's where I need to be crystal clear. Do not chase people outside of your home. Just don't do it. I don't care if they ding dong ditched your house, stole a package off your porch, or maybe broke a window before they ran. If they're leaving, just let them leave. Nothing you own is worth the legal battle, the stress, the money, and the possibility of losing your freedom. And I say that very cautiously because I know how pissed off I get about people stealing and taking my stuff. And I can imagine how other people feel about it. But the reality of our world is that if you chase someone out of your house and hunt them down, even in the moment, the likelihood of you being charged and being convicted with something is exceedingly high, regardless of what state you live in. Because even here in Texas, with castle doctrine, with strong self-defense laws, law enforcement still has a very low tolerance for what they perceive to be unjustified shootings. It's not a free-for-all like some people imagine, and this case proves it. Now we've got a kid dead over a prank, and we've got a man sitting in jail facing a murder charge. Both lives destroyed, and for what? This is why I keep hammering this point home. Control your kids. And as homeowners, control your emotions when you can to the best of your ability, because one bad decision in the heat of the moment can change your life and someone else's forever. Now, look, in this particular case, things are very questionable. Nothing about it feels clear-cut, but I also know plenty of other cases where the person defending themselves was absolutely justified and still found themselves fighting for their freedom afterwards. Even here in Texas, with the strong castle doctrine laws and strong self-defense protections, law enforcement and prosecutors don't turn a blind eye to unjustified shootings. And in a lot of states, the DA doesn't even like the fact that you have a gun at all. They'll treat you like a criminal no matter how justified the shooting looks on its face. And this is why I've partnered with USCCA, because after the fight for your life comes the fight for your freedom. With the USCCA membership, you're not just getting legal and financial protection, you're also getting training and education and resources to help you prepare before something like this even happens. I always talk about how homeowners need to learn to control their emotions in the heat of the moment. And that's one of the things I love about USCCA. They give you situational training, mental walkthroughs, and real-world education that make you a more responsible, prepared gun owner. Because here's the truth, a lot of things you think you know in a self-defense situation, you don't actually know until you've been trained for it. And with USCCA, you're not just covered after the fact. You're equipped with the tools to possibly avoid ever needing that coverage in the first place. So I'm gonna put a link in the description section so you can learn more about USCCA. And even if you don't go with them, go with someone, because the worst position you can ever be in is fighting a legal battle for your life alone.
One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now, you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together, we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.